Welcome to Spirits and Screams.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Spirits and Screams. Okay, I heard about this movie recently and I hadn't heard anything about it, but then I was really excited to watch it and I was super jealous of all the people that got to see it in advance. I wish I was one of those people. I always have to wait, especially being in Canada too. Anyway, I finally got to see it and let's dive into it, shall we? Azrael from 2024. Years after the apocalypse, a devout cult of mute zealots hunts down Azrael, a young woman who escaped her own imprisonment. Directed by Katz, starring Samara and Nathan Stewart Jarrett. This movie is atmospheric. It has an unusual score, and it's very tense and gory right at the start. And those are things that captivate me completely and I love in a movie. I guess I should stay up front. I think this one's going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it yet, maybe you want to skip this one and watch it later down the road. That's totally cool. Just click off now and we'll catch you soon. Yeah, but other than that, if you have seen it, let's talk about it. So speaking of talking, this film has no talking, which is challenging, you know, but I think they pulled that part off pretty good. I guess it's after the apocalypse and people have chosen to not speak, but Azrael, the main character, has like a scar on her throat, so I'm imagining that they actually physically can't speak. So there's no sound. They can kind of cry out a little bit, make a bit of a noise, but more of like a struggling to scream kind of thing. And, you know, there's a sound of the environment happening around them and that kind of thing, but actually no talking. So that's interesting in and of itself. Very unique, I think. So there's a lot of lore going on in this film. Azrael is supposed to be the angel of death. But it always seems throughout that she doesn't really know who she is. I'm not super up on all that stuff, so I don't really know exactly what was going on, but there's enough in the film that you can follow it along and kind of see what's happening. There's a lot of weird creatures in this film. There's a cult. Everything's very kind of surreal. It's all in the forest. There's lots of, she's escaped, I guess, so they're trying to capture her, this cult, so she has to be very careful as she's going through places that she's not breaking twigs when she's stepping on things and not in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of deal. So there's lots of tension that way. It's got that almost Hunger Games kind of vibe to it. Very, very modern kind of a film. I'm not sure they hit the mark on it exactly because to me it kind of became really predictable as it went on. You kind of could see what was going on. It's about the angel of death, but it just feels too realistic, like too real. There should have been more mystical, crazy things happening, and just didn't quite do it for me. These creatures that kind of are out in the forest that can attack and kill and eat people were pretty cool. Actually, we don't really know what that's about. I guess it's kind of metaphoric, you know, there's like lots of things that are happening that have meaning to them, but it is kind of hard to follow that if you don't really know what's going on with the actual story. So it's a bit vague that way, I have to say. And I didn't do a lot of research into this one to figure out what was going on. I might down the road do that, and I might give it a rewatch actually to give it a better shake, because my first watching of it was okay, but it really was kind of I don't know, I didn't know what was going on and it just lacked something to me, and so maybe if I watch it again and I do some of that research and figure out what's actually happening, I'll appreciate it more. But I'll have to let you know on that one. What did you guys think about it if you saw it? You know, did you kind of get it? Was it really good? Was it kind of weird, you know, and a little bit lacking, or did you love it? let me know in the comments below. I would love to chat and learn more about it, actually. Azrael has this friend at the start that I'm not really sure if he was a love interest or just a really good friend or what, but she makes this little gift of a bracelet she creates with sort of branches and berries, which is really sweet. And then he gets captured and injured and all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of like I don't really get it. Like, who is he? what did I miss? You know, I didn't really understand that part of it. Obviously, on a spiritual level, on a higher level, he's somebody, but I didn't really quite understand that. I would have liked to have kind of known more about what their relationship was and why they were together. You don't get a lot of info, you know, to know what's exactly happening. They have these little text, like chapter titles that kind of happen that are quotes that kind of pop up throughout, but it's a little bit too ambiguous and vague and artsy-fartsy for me, even for me who loves that kind of stuff. You know, I love those kind of films. I love the atmospheric stuff. I love digging deeper into what the story is about and that kind of thing, but I don't know, it's just a little bit too vague for me. But like I say, maybe if I research it, I'll get it, I'll rewatch it, I'll be like, oh, I love this. I don't know. So the whole story kind of plays out, and she's constantly being chased. She's surrounded by, every time she comes near people or stuff, she touches things, people die around her. So obviously she's the angel of death she's going through. They're trying to get rid of her, right? They don't want the angel of death nearby. It's like this way of bucking the system and not dying and living forever kind of thing. And there's a cult. So it's kind of very obvious that that's kind of what's happening, what's going on. But I just had so many questions of like, why, you know, why I wanted more to the whole story, and I didn't want to have to look it up to figure it out. I wanted to be able to see more happening in the film, and yeah, it just kind of fell flat for me. It just wasn't quite enjoyable for me. It was one of those ones that I watched to the end, but I nearly shut it off partway through because I kind of could see what was going on, and I was like, is that really it? Like, is that all that's happening? Like, it's super easy to figure out as you go through it, and that can't be it. There must be more, because it's such a major, huge story and topic to be tackling that there's so much that you could play with that could be there, and I just don't feel like they did. She's just running through the forest. It's kind of like a zombie film. She's constantly being chased. They're trying to get rid of her. People are dying around her. And, you know, that's pretty much it. There's these weird creatures out in the wild that they're trying to sacrifice her to, I expect, to be able to save people and keep people alive and keep going kind of thing. Or, I don't know, maybe on a spiritual level, it's about living the afterlife, heaven, hell, that kind of thing. I don't really know, but they didn't really dig that deep into that stuff visually, so it was really hard to see if that's what was happening or not. It also seemed through the film she doesn't really know who she is, but they didn't really explore, like, maybe they did, I don't know, but they kind of just, she didn't really know who she was, and she was just kind of floating through this thing, accepting things as she went to try to survive. But she obviously couldn't die because she's the angel of death, and she, you know, couldn't be sacrificed, and she must have realized she had some bigger purpose, but it was just weird. It was weird, right? So in the end, you know, she finally hunts down and comes into the same place with this woman I assume is like the cult leader or someone that they're prized person that they're like protecting that's pregnant. And the angel of death comes and touches her, and the lady dies, but the baby's born, and the baby ends up being the devil baby, you know, a goat baby with horns and whatnot. That was really goofy and silly. And, you know, you kind of figured that was going to happen as you get closer to the end. And all of the evil creatures kind of relish around her to celebrate the birth of this child. To me, it just was silly. I didn't get half of it. It just was just not good. I didn't like it. Maybe other people did, you know, maybe I'm missing something. I feel maybe I'm just stupid and I didn't understand what was going on, but it was just a little bit too weird for me, too out there. and not enough happening to really keep my interest. And I just was disappointed because I really wanted to like it. I'd heard about it recently and the hype was kind of big, and I was like, oh my God, I never heard of this one. I gotta watch this. But yeah, what did you guys think in the comments? Please fill me in if I'm just stupid and didn't get it. But I just kind of, I don't know. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to research it some more so I know what I'm talking about better. But I wanted to kind of talk about it really quickly after I'd seen it, just to get my first impressions out there. Yeah, so anyhow, for my review, I hate to say it, but I'm going to give this one a 1 out of 5. Hell on earth, I'm in purgatory, watch at your own risk. I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever done that before. I feel really bad about that, but that's kind of just how it made me feel. Like I say, I'll give it a rewatch and another chance, and maybe I missed something and it just didn't resonate with me that when I watched it, you know, and it could be better. I don't know. So a huge thank you again to my patrons for supporting me. I really appreciate you guys. And I think that's it, you guys. I'm gonna keep going and do another one because I want to keep cranking out movie reviews for you this month, because October is the spooky season and it's the best time to watch horror movies. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel, but only if you want to and you want to hang out, support me, and we can chat even more and get notified when my latest videos drop too. I have a great evening, you guys, and I will see you really soon on the next one. Bye, guys.